Okay, folks, hey, welcome to our last lecture here for CSCI172. Today's Thursday. It's dead week. Getting ready for finals, and I'm sure you guys are too. Busy time of year for all of us here. I wanted to base this lecture on kind of a little review of material for our final exam, and just kind of maybe put a little personal touch in a semester, so you actually get to hear your instructor, see your instructor, and of course you're always welcome to visit with me if you want to give me a call or send me a little email or something. So first, congratulations, you made it this point of the course, and I appreciate all your hard work and efforts throughout the semester, and I don't think we get to one of the disadvantages of an online course is we don't get to discuss things, and so I'll just say, thanks for your work this semester, and I hope you've gotten something out of this course. I recognize how important, no matter what career field you're going into, to have the ability to work with data sets, how that's such a critical skill, whether you're going into the business world, where you're doing more in-depth work as a scientist, or maybe an applied field, going into the energy field, information technology field. All those require individuals who have a good grasp on handling data sets, doing some data visualization, being able to work with simple databases that contain multiple tables and relationships, being able to write some queries. All that stuff is really independent of any particular field. It's just common knowledge that we all need to have. Okay, so good job getting to this point. What I'm going to do next here, I'd like you to follow along with me here, and let's make a little list here. And I got Notepad up here. So first thing, any remaining coursework, and I think what we have on the docket here is this assessment 5 out of my IT lab. I need you to complete that and get it done. I don't want you to be worrying about it next week, so our due date for it is tomorrow, which is Friday, and that'll be the 9th. So get that wrapped up. Don't be dragging it into next week. All that's due on Friday, and I will spend the weekend and Monday just kind of wrapping up any grades. Moodle is our official grade book, and I take the grades out of my IT lab and I push them over to Moodle. If there's things that you're not giving credit for, if you turn something in late and you want to ask for extension, all that stuff, make sure it's clearly communicated, and I'll send you a little email next week and just say, hey, grades are in, everything's finalized. If there's an issue, let me know, and I'll do my best to correct anything that's not 100% accurate. Okay. 2 here, our final exam. The date for it's for next Wednesday, and that's the 14th, I believe. All right, and what I'll do is I will open up the exam at 6 a.m. and close the exam at midnight. You're free to take the exam. You got to take it on Wednesday. Anytime, at your convenience throughout the day. I open up early enough in the morning and close it late at night. And if you have any problems with that, I'll check my email regularly. In fact, I'll probably post my cell phone or something. So if you have problems with it, something gets stuck, you have to reset the exam, I'm certainly willing to help you out with that. But it's got to be taken on Wednesday, okay? It will be open book, open notes. It's an online class. I don't have much control over that unless we get proctors. And I will spend some time here at the end of this webcast kind of describing how, recommendations for studying for this exam. Okay? Third, you should have gotten a course evaluation request from UM Online. What may I say here? Please complete. Okay? We deliver a lot of sections of this course at the College of Technology and throughout the University of Montana. We all try and share best practices, and I think we have some great software right now for online learning, and that's the MyIT Lab simulation. I've had good feedback from students in the past, but I'd like to know what you think about it. I want you to let me know about the organization, if you felt the class was well organized, And if it's not, it'd benefit us to know what we need to do a little differently. So, and I recognize too, my IT lab or any simulation software isn't perfect. There's problems with all of them. This is by far the best, and I think it'd be really difficult to deliver some of the skills that we do in this course without having this simulation software. It actually makes you practice it. It gives you feedback. Some of it's pretty trivial, I understand. But I hope it's helpful. I hope you've gained some skills from it. And then I try and do a lot of these little videos and grab videos from other people, because I think that learning from a book is good, but you need some multimedia too. Okay. And then lastly here, what do I got here on my list? We're gonna let's review for the exam. Okay. And so moving to that topic here, it'll be multiple choice. Will be the type of test we'll use. It's being delivered in my IT lab. Now I recognize that this semester we did try and incorporate some of the end of chapter review questions, and I also recognize some of those questions weren't very good. They came canned with the my IT lab curriculum. This exam, I've created a lot of the questions for it, and I think you'll find that it's very comprehensive. It's very objective based. It really tests and what we're looking for is your conceptual knowledge, not so much where things are in Excel, but I think if you understand the concepts here, it doesn't matter if you use Microsoft Excel, if you're a Google Docs user, if you want to use OpenOffice, if you got some wacky spreadsheet or database, you're an Oracle database user, concepts are the same. Queries are queries, data sets are data sets. If I want to use aggregate functions, sum, count, average, max, min, they're built into any spreadsheet. Okay, so this final exam will test conceptual knowledge. You'll have some vocabulary, some definition, and I want to see how much you've comprehended throughout this course. Okay, so do a little review here. I'll point out some areas where I would encourage you to study here. And if you look through I'm back in my IT lab here. And if you notice here, these little chain guys here, these are electronic copies of your textbook. I hope you've looked at them. If you didn't, that's fine. We'll look at them now. Okay, so I'm going to click on one of these guys. And so I have the Excel comprehensive text. I think we did the first 5 chapters of this. You'll find the first 5 chapters. In fact, I should show you what to study here. Let's go one more. So we did chapters 1 through 5 out of the Excel. And we also did some supplemental quantitative and qualitative statistical studies. Pretty basic stuff, but again, I want you to walk out of here with the ability to work with these different types of data sets. And then we introduced the Microsoft Access product, the database. All right, so chapters 1 through 4 out of Access. So you'll be able to work with both data sets in a spreadsheet view, and then also using a relational database model, okay, which is, again, Access is what we used. All right, let me fire this up here, okay? So you click on this and get this thing going. All right, and it takes you a little Pearson splash screen here. We'll let this boot up. I have a pretty good connection here. If you have a slower connection, it might not work so well, but for me, this is the perfect tool if I'm going to use the text a little bit in an online lecture like this. You guys may or may not find this helpful. I think it's helpful, but I think you have to kind of understand how it all works. So I'm over here now. There's some different tools. What I like getting out of the web browser view of it, and so there's this view here called Whiteboard, and you can see it's right here where it looks like a projector. And I'll pull that up. Actually, I should be able to pull that into a... let's go back here on this. Let me pause this for a second here, folks. Okay, let me continue on here. If I click on this now, I made a little switch here in my IT lab, so it opens it up in its own window. Okay, so I bring that up in its own window, and I mentioned a projector view. If we go to that projector view and show that full screen, and there's zoom capabilities. They zoom in, zoom out. If you go down and play some more with some of these configuration settings, this will fit it into a single page. And then what else? You get the little wrench here, and then what I like to do is do a page spread on this. So let me get past the cover here. If I hit this little marker here, I could go to a particular chapter. So let's open up a chapter, and I don't know, we'll go to chapter 2 here, formulas and functions. And I'll use this little wrench. I'll do a page spread on this, and I'll minimize this, and then I'll go fit to a page. Okay. So that works pretty good for me with my large monitor here, and I can go to whatever page I want here. Here's the objectives. I mentioned that we want to make this a conceptual knowledge exam. So what I would do is I'd go back the 2 areas that I would review, and you have a pen here too. So just like you highlight anything else, and I can zoom in here. So I'll zoom a little bit first. All right, grab my little hand here. Do you see I got some tools here? And as a teaching tool, this is handy. So out of chapter 2, I can go back and I can review these. I'm going to just put a big circle around them. Make sure you understand how to do these things, okay? So use semi-selection to create a formula. Use relative, absolute, and mixed cell references and formulas. Understand what a circular reference is. Understand how to create a function. How to total values with the sum function, etc. Okay, these are pretty simple concepts. Maybe you can't remember how to do the PMT function. Maybe go back and review that. And you can make notes in here. And then since it is an open book test, you can come back and you can review your notes here. Or you could do the same thing in your textbook. It's the same document. Just one is electronic, while the other is the hardbound version. Okay, so I'll bring this so it all fits back to a single page. And so I would review of those. So we got 9 chapters I'm asking you to review, the 5 out of Excel and then the 4 out of Microsoft Access. And then at the look at the objectives, go back, review the material. And really, I think when you're looking at a test, you look at the areas where you're weak at. Go back and say, oh gosh, I can't remember how to do date functions. We'll go back and review that material. At the end of each chapter, there's the chapter objectives review. And this was where I would probably spend the bulk of my time. Okay, and in here, and I'll zoom in just a little bit here. The top half of the page describes each of those, in this case there's 12 objectives at the start of the chapter, and it gives you a review of them. Okay, about, for instance, here's number 3. Make this a little bigger so you can see it on your screen. Number 3, what's a circular reference? Okay, well here it is. Gives you a nice definition for it. All right, or this is Spreadsheets 101 here. What's the difference between a relative, an absolute, and a mixed cell reference? Be able to identify those. For instance, kind of quick review here. I can circle these right here. Absolute, relative, or mixed? Well, the answer to those are mixed references because we have both absolute and relative. Versus this one right here. Again, easy stuff, I think, but it's, don't overlook it. Absolute, correct? Okay, versus B5 is relative. And then it's implication when we use the, for instance, the fill handle. All right. So I'd encourage you to review those particular areas. You want to use this electronic book. That's great. You don't have to use the electronic book. I think if you have kept up as the semester has gone, I don't think you'll have any troubles with this exam. Okay. So prepare yourself with an open book exam. I always think that a person is well organized, knows how to find material, has reviewed the material, does just fine on it. All right. So I think that's where I'll leave you for today. If you have any questions or concerns, of course, feel free to contact me here, phone, email, whatever works for you. And again, I appreciate your time and effort in class. I recognize your hard work, and I wish you all the luck in your final exams and all your classes. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas holiday too.